going on, Jerome's? So Jonathan, James, JJ McCarthy. All right, so seen some highs, seen some lows, right? But it's what you expect from a first-time starting quarterback, 22 years young. But it just seems like Vikings fans don't really have the patience, as well as the national media, where JJ McCarthy, I swear to everything that's holy, is the most overanalyzed and over-criticized quarterback in NFL history. And it might not be close. Like, start 4, basically they're expecting him to be an all-pro. Just like now, I still can't snap my fingers. But they're expecting that. But with McCarthy, obviously, we've seen the heights. We've seen the clutch. We've seen everything. The arm that threatens every single blade of grass. He and Kevin O'Connell will work things out a long time, right? But the Vikings, the Vikings don't have a history of developing quarterbacks, and that imprints upon the fan base because we're just not used to it. We're just not used to, hey, give it some time, having a homegrown quarterback. And an analogy, since they're in the same draft class as Drake May. All right, so Drake May, a number 3 overall pick in 2024, kind of back in the day. Oh, but the Vikings should have traded up to 3 to go get him. Okay. You would have heavily criticized Kwesi if he gave up 4 first-round picks, right? And then the pressure on Drake May would have been unbearable. Right, but Drake May, 2024, did not have a good season. Was asked thank you at times. Had fumbles, had interceptions, was inconsistent, was erratic, all that stuff. But he learned on the job, and that's what happens. And you have to have a little bit of a grace period for young quarterbacks because they're not going to come in and just light the world on fire. And also, if they do, look at Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, sometimes there can be a sophomore slump. That's right. Even though the Broncos are 8-2, it ain't because of Bo Nix, right? And May, certainly could say coaching staff going from Mayo and Van Pelt to Vrabel and Josh McDaniels is pretty good. It's pretty good, right? But, Drake May looking like an MVP candidate now as he's already, 23 starts into his NFL career. And that's about what you need. Right, you need 20 to 30 starts to really get an assessment of what the player is going to be. JJ McCarthy has 4, and he's looked pretty damn impressive in 2 of them. So, not saying, I'm just saying. But it just seems like the Vikings and Vikings fans, we've just been so comfortable with the veteran stopgap quarterback. You know what I mean? And just looking back through Vikings starting quarterback history, that holds up. All right, so starting off at the top, 1961, Francis Tarkenton coming out of Georgia, 3rd-round pick, except that was back when the NFL, before they merged with the AFL, so he was actually number 29 overall, so, yeah. But obviously, Tarkenton did good. Joe Kapp came in as a free agent, formerly of the CFL. Gary Cuozzo is also there. But if you think about it, the Vikings have only had a fistful of homegrown star quarterbacks. So Tarkenton, Tommy Kramer, drafted in 1977, first round, number 27, are all out of Rice. But also, look, Tommy Kramer was drafted in the first round in 1977. Didn't become a full-time starter until 1979. He had 1 start before that. Oh, but he's going to be good right away, Bob. Then, basically, you have to go all the way to Dante Culpepper. Get your roll on, baby. 1999. Dante even had a redshirt season behind Randall Cunningham and Jeff George. Them trying to run it back with Randall Cunningham gave him a big-time contract after 98. Didn't work out. So Dante obviously had a good run before his knee blew out. Should have been the league MVP in 2004, but, it is what it is. And then, T-Jack, rest in power, 2nd-round pick in 2006 out of Alabama State. Go Hornets. Ponder, number 12 overall in 2011. Remember, that's when they had that stupid run on quarterbacks like Jake Locker and Blaine Gabbert. Yeah. So the Vikings very clearly overdrafted Ponder. I mean, Ponder probably should have been a 2nd-round pick, right? But I feel like, so also the Vikings going with the veteran stopgap and Donovan McNabb, but he wasn't good, so eventually he got benched for Ponder. Vikings actually released McNabb during that season, if you remember. And then, Ponder just obviously didn't get much of a shot, but also he just wasn't good. Wasn't good enough. 2014, Teddy Bridgewater. I swear to everything that, hey, if Teddy's leg didn't socially distance from his body, he would have been that dude, man. He was ready to go in year 3. The deep ball was there. It's good to go, right? But just also look at the veteran stopgaps. And I feel like there's a comfort where hey, we don't want to take time to let the young quarterback develop. We want to win some games now, so let's go with the veteran. Let's win 8-9 games, and let's feel good about things, as opposed to investing in the future of a franchise quarterback who could be that dude for 10, 12, 15 years, especially one that's linked up with Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer. And remember, McCarthy is the first like true drafted homegrown quarterback for Kevin O'Connell outside of Jaron Hall, right? The more of a missile. But again, the team conditions fans. So fans are conditioned to feel comfortable with the veteran stopgap because look at all of them throughout history. So after Tommy Kramer, so Rich Gannon was technically drafted by the Patriots, but for all intents and purposes, he was a Viking, right? 4th-round pick out of Delaware, I want to say. The Patriots wanted to move him to like running back or something, and it was like he's like nah. But then 84, Archie Manning, Archibald Manning, good times. Then Jim McMahon, making his tour of the NFC North. Oh, Sean Salisbury back in the day too. Yeah, Warren Moon, veteran stopgap. Brad Johnson, who was originally drafted by the Vikings but then returned. Super Bowl champion Brad Johnson, by the way. But then 98 Randall Cunningham, Jeff George, and then after Dante, Brad Johnson is back again. BJ's back, tell a friend, and then Gus Frerotte, the pride of Tulsa King. Gus Frerotte looking really damn good. Former 7th-round pick by Washington out of Tulsa. Took over Heath Schuler's job. Heath Schuler, Gus Frerotte was the OG RG3 Kirk Cousins dynamic. Yeah, and then of course the creme de la creme of veteran stopgaps in Bert Favre. And then you have Matt Castle coming in, Josh Freeman for that one game, one shining moment. God, that was great. Sam Bradford. I still think Sam Bradford would have been fine if his knees didn't collapse. Yeah. Case Keenum, lightning in a bottle coming out of nowhere. Again, veteran stopgap, as opposed to just investing, buckling down, and developing your own guy in-house. And then Kirk Cousins, maybe not creme de la creme, but 5 years, $150 million and change with Kirk Cousins. Yeah. And Sam Darnold, veteran stopgap, and even this year, where there was a groundswell of Carson Wentz should start the rest of the year. And we said at the time, hey, if you think you can win a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz, go ahead. But obviously the answer was no, so you go with JJ, right? So again, the team has conditioned us, the fan base, to not be comfortable with developing a rookie quarterback. We're more of, hey, let's just have the veteran. The veteran has been around the block. The veteran sucks ass because teams do not let go of franchise quarterbacks. So, but, that's what it is. So, it just takes some time. Little in the middle after that, JJ is going to be just fine. Everything's going to be all right. So, tranquilo, calm down. Rest of the way. Again, we need 20, 30 starts before we have a full indictment on JJ McCarthy. But you've seen the highs of what JJ McCarthy can do. Like, McCarthy has shown more in 4 starts than Ponder ever did, than, frankly, Teddy ever did. Just that clutch gene, that apex hunter, that everything, man. Just, that's what you want, right? All the soft skills will be developed, right? But give it some time. Or, hey, what's Ryan Tannehill up to? Is that what you want to do? Is that really what you want to do? Nah. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. The Vikings have not been used to developing quarterbacks, and the fan base hasn't been used to it either. But let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best thing to do. Skol, production value.